Good evening, and thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Ann Trujillo.
I'm Shannon Ogden. We're glad you're with us tonight. Often news stories about buses of migrants arriving in the U.S. are stories done in a negative light, and this is not that.
Today, a bus filled with 50 people, most of them families, arrived in Denver, and they will be staying at a faith-based facility and receive assistance from local nonprofits in Denver before they meet up with family. Denver 7's Byron Wang is joining us live from where that bus arrived.
So, Byron, let's begin with where these people are coming from and whether the city knew this was all happening.
Yeah, guys, I'll just spell it out here. This is not one of those cases of Texas Governor Greg Abbott shipping off migrants to other states. We know he has done that previously this year. Instead, according to the nonprofits providing resources to the migrants that arrived today, this was a very planned and coordinated event.
Today we welcomed a bus of people from the border.
50 migrants arriving in Denver Friday morning after entering through the U.S.-Mexico border in El Paso within the last week or two.
Today we have all families, and over half the bus were kids under the age of 18.
Families from Colombia, Ecuador, Cuba, and Nicaragua. At least half of them will be staying in Colorado long-term, and according to the American Friends Service Committee, the remaining migrants will be traveling to other states within the next few days. This year, you've seen the headlines, Governor Abbott shipping off migrants to other states with little coordination. Is this one of those situations?
This is a voluntary situation, so we as nonprofits agreed to host folks from another nonprofit. This has nothing to do with governors or politics or arguing over what our immigration policy should be. This is about sharing and welcoming people who are already led into the United States.
4 local nonprofits coordinated with an organization in El Paso to bus the migrants here, where they'll receive resources and assistance. And why Denver? Why is it important that they come to Denver?
We're relatively close to the border. We're within an easy bus ride, and when Annunciation House asked us, will you do your part? Will you share in the welcome that we've been giving to people for decades? We couldn't say no.
Now, besides today, the last time these nonprofits accepted a bus full of migrants was back in 2019, but these are efforts they are hoping to ramp up in the coming weeks, the coming months, the coming years. And according to the city of Denver, city officials will be helping these nonprofits provide resources to the migrants we have here today. Back to you guys.
All right, Bayan, thank you for that. And our web team has a full write-up on what happened today and where those families will be receiving help. And you can find that information on denver7.com. And to give you some context here, right now restrictions are in place that largely block migrants from entering the U.S. The Biden administration was expected to end a Trump-era pandemic restriction on the U.S.-Mexico border known as Title 42. This was back in May. That did not happen. A federal judge blocked the White House from lifting it, ruling restrictions must stay in place until a lawsuit by 24 states is resolved in the courts. So that ruling is still in place. The Department of Homeland Security says it is bracing for as many as 18,000 migrants per day at the southern border if the order is revoked.